that's cute. What an artist. I had a debate when I went to the last year when I had they had a orientation about board members. They gave us these golden ones that were kind of like they were made for like they didn't give us anything nice like that when I got usually so I can't go to the and the union is kind of splitting up. I yeah, we can scooch a bit. Do we have one last day? I mean,
yeah.
All right, good evening, everyone. Can I get, all right, let's try this one more time. Good evening, everyone. I like that. It's CB14. We respectful over here, so I appreciate that. So this is Brooklyn Community Board 14. It's called to order on Monday, April 13th, 2026 at 7:03 p.m. under the applicable statutes of New York State, the Charter of New York City, the board's bylaws, and Robert's Rules of Order. The board's policy is to encourage detailed public discussion of matters before the board at our committee meetings and at public meetings. Consequently, except by board members, there will be no public discussion at our regularly month meeting of matters about which a public hearing or committee has been held. Specific service delivery requests or complaints should be brought to the attention of the district office's staff. We have Sarah at the back. Hi, Sarah. Nah, she'll be back. And by calling the board office during regular business hours or by visiting the website anytime. Other matters of civic interest may be brought before the board during our scheduled public comment period, which will begin tonight after all other business on the board's monthly meeting agenda has been concluded. No partisan political appeals or advertising of for-profit enterprises will be heard. Persons wishing to speak during the public comment period were asked to pre-register. So the first thing that we'll do is call attendance. So Secretary, may you please call the roll?
Oh.
Shaib Zada, Shabir Ahmad.
I'm here.
Gotcha.
Great. I love it.
Wakil Ahmed. Carissa Alfonso. Gregory Alvarez. Hindi Bendel. Vidyavan Bendet. Here. Davila Bolinoth.
Here.
Sure. Christopher Bromson.
Present.
Carl Henry Cesar. Florencia Changajita.
Here.
Yvette Claire Jean.
Here.
Elizabeth Denise.
Present.
Lisa Derrick.
Here.
Joseph Dweck. Regine Ford. Gerald Gray.
Here.
Susan Hargett. Musa Asun. Ian Haynes. Mordechai Husarski.
Present.
Kashif Hussein. Nautica Johnson. Erica Phillip Jones. Kirsty Jutilla.
Here.
Nicole Levinson Angulo.
Here.
Alex Lesman. Donald Loggins. Sasha Masluski. Melissa Minnick.
Here.
Ephraim Nuremberg.
Present.
Asma Nazi.
Here.
Eric Ost.
Here.
Ornella Parker. Nora Pena. Susan Phillip. Zvi Plotzker. Baran Prasant. Baza Ruhi. Nina Sabgir.
Here.
Joel Siegel. Gail Smith.
Present.
Alexa Summers.
Here.
Tova Sensberg. Rolanda Telsford Hastic. Abraham Treff.
Here.
Deborah Valentine. Alana Wilson.
All right, cool. We reached quorum. Thank you, Secretary. So board members should have received the prior meeting minutes via email or in person at the welcome table. So after your review, are there any changes via email? None? All right. Any changes from the floor? Motion to adopt the minutes of the March 2026 general board meeting. Cool. All in favor? Any against? Any abstentions? All right. Oh, any exceptions? Can I see? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Minutes have been adopted. And I will have the district manager's report.
Thank you very much. Since we last met in March, seems like a long time ago, but that's because so much happened. Since then, there was a youth conference, and so you're going to hear more about it. And there's so much thanks to spread around, but I want to thank those who came out. I really want to thank the staff. They'll get more thanks, but they do all of the heavy lifting and make it happen every year, especially Sarah, who sort of unexpectedly had to take care of the last couple of weeks solo, and it was a very successful event. Thanks to the co-chairs of the committee for rallying the troops and making it all happen in such a spectacular way. Always proud to be a part of that event. After that, there was the Women of Distinction Award event hosted by Assemblymember Rodney Bichot, and we have two outstanding women of achievement who were honored at the event, Rosine Ford and Florencia Changajita, well deserved. I was really glad to be there and be part of it. Totally. Then the Flatbush Development Corp held a legislative breakfast. There was focus on a number of really wonderful things that they are doing. One of them is their valiant continued efforts to rationalize Newkirk Plaza and to put it into the hands of DOT to make it a DOT pedestrian plaza where it would get all of the love and support and community activation that it deserves. We really need our elected officials to push this one through. MTA, maybe if I wanted to be fair, I would say, there's a lot on their plate and it's hard for them to keep focus on this, smaller project for them. But for us, it's a big project. It's important to our community and we really need to keep them on point and push this through. It's with MTA now. They're doing an assessment of the decking for conditions. So it is moving forward, but not as quickly as we would like. So let's keep the pressure on, please. Reach out to your elected officials, or when you run into them, ask them and make sure that they know that their constituents, that it matters to you all. I also met the newish commanding officer of Patrol Borough Brooklyn South, Chief Minch. We talked about hope that the precinct itself is getting all of the support it needs in order to support the community, especially for community events like block parties. There was an announcement by the CEO at the following precinct council that crime is at a historic low. I think this is a national trend and it's a city trend and it's experienced here in the 70th Police Precinct. And it is really good news, except that should be experienced on every single block of the community. So when that's an announcement, but I know some block parties can't happen because of public safety concerns, it's not time to rest on anybody's laurels. I also attended the Duryea Place, Black Vets for Social Justice Men's Shelter Community Advisory Board, and I want to say there weren't very many members of the public. And so if you live near one of the shelters, there's one at 21 Duryea Place, there's one at 1 Kenilworth Place, and there's one that has never had a CAB meeting yet at 928 Coney Island Avenue. Reach out to the office if you are interested, if you're in that area and interested in being a member of the CAB. I will push with Department of Homeless Services to get that rolling. It's just hard for me to get that rolling and then have nobody from the community show up. So step up if you'd like to. There was also a legislative breakfast hosted by the Prospect Park Alliance. Always lovely to have an opportunity to be in the picnic house. We talked about funding for the parks, and as you know, this board has been supportive of 1% of the city budget funding for parks. I also think, and as do many people who think about this more than I do, that the Department of Parks and Recreation should have its own capital budget. The reliance on council members to fund capital projects in our parks is not efficient, especially in a district like ours that has 5 overlapping council members, so no one has most of our district in their district. It was legislative breakfast season, and there was one at the Kings County Hospital. There was a lot of talk about some of the good work and positive changes that are happening at KCHC. And then that was followed by the Passover holiday, which gives me the opportunity to thank the Department of Sanitation for the extra work they did on collection leading up to the holiday. There were, I can't even remember, I think 40 trucks on collection on the last day before the holiday, and they did a great job, and we got a lot of positive feedback for their efforts. Sent a letter to the commissioner thanking them for that and for their winter work and all of that. We held a district service cabinet meeting on April 1st, but there were no jokes. And we took care of some interagency issues. And I continue to meet with the Future of Community Boards Working Group, and we're working with the Office of Mass Engagement to, engage. And try to talk about some improvements in the district needs statement and the budget process that we all go through together. So that's why it seems like a long time since we met. We got a lot of work done. There's a lot of work to do. So thank you for your continued support as we try to move some of these things forward.
All right, thank you, Sean. And I do want to acknowledge some members of the community that have joined us today. So with us, we have Portia Edwards from State Senator Zelnor Mari's office, Ellie Slavin from Congresswoman Yvette Clark's office, Brian Grady from Councilmember Rita Joseph's office, Britt Bird from Borough President Reynoso's office, Noam Abrams from Senator Sam Sun's office. I know him. Nancy Lulu from the Brooklyn District Attorney's office. Good evening. And Megan Flamin White from Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office. And now we'll turn into the chair's report. So,
That's you.
yeah, this is my first one. So I hope you are all well and in good spirits. Thank you for joining today's meeting. For those who've observed Eid following the conclusion of Ramadan, I hope the celebration was festive, peaceful, reflective, and filled with joy. To those who celebrated Passover, I hope the holiday was meaningful and provided time for reflection and connected with loved ones. For those who observed Easter, I hope it was a joyful celebration of renewal and hope. And as Vaisakhi will be celebrated tomorrow for our Hindu community members, I wish those who observe it a happy, healthy, and prosperous celebration. So on March 11th, does anyone remember what happened on March 11th? All right, cool. All right, we've been paying attention to youth conference. So does the room mind joining me and giving me the committee, co-chairs, and everyone who made this event possible a round of applause? I don't want to steal their thunder because they're going to present on it in a couple minutes. But I definitely saw an increase in both community representation as well as a student turnout. I spoke with as many students as I could at the event, and I really wanted to emphasize how impactful the outreach was. We had student representation from schools across Brooklyn, some from Manhattan, and even a few college students. And from an equity and service standpoint, I truly appreciate that these resources were extended outward. So you all did a spectacular job, and with the 19th annual now in the books, I know planning for the 20th, right? I'm going to be with that. The 20th is going to be a big undertaking, and I'm excited to take that journey with you. On March 13th, the Flappers Development Corporation had a legislative breakfast at Don Burrito at Newkirk Plaza, bringing together local leaders, organizations, and elected officials to discuss key issues affecting our community. The event was attended by Assemblywoman Rodney Spashat-Hermelin, Assemblymember Brian Cunningham, Councilmember Farrah Lewis, Deputy Borough President Kim Council, Justin Freeman, who's the Executive Director for Organizing from the Mayor's Office of Mass Engagement, a representative from Yvette Clark's office. It wasn't you, Ellie. I'm going to get the name. Mary Casey from Assemblymember Robert Carroll's office, and the 70th Precinct Commanding Officer Werner Spack. Community groups in attendance included the Cortelyou Merchant Association, Newkirk Plaza Merchant Association, Flappers Tenant Coalition, and both the Millwood and South Prospect Park neighborhood associations. So several major concerns were raised. As Shauna aforementioned, was Destination Newkirk, where she gave a presentation, a co-facilitated presentation with FDC on the longstanding advocacy to reimagine Newkirk Plaza. This included added emphasis from local businesses on how the current conditions of the plaza are currently impacting their operations. The 70th Precinct mentioned that there is now a post that previously that was removed, that they have added back, that there will now be NYPD presence on the plaza from 7:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. There also was a presentation from FDC about their goal to secure a new home, creating a central hub and community space to better serve the Flappers community. And lastly, the Flappers Tenant Coalition also highlighted their advocacy for three key pieces of tenant-focused legislation around the statewide Right to Counsel, Clean Hands Act, and the winter eviction moratorium. On March 19th, the 70th Precinct notified CB14 of a fire that occurred on Avenue H between East 10th Street and Coney Island Avenue. There was no loss of life, but unfortunately, 7 of our local businesses were impacted as a result of the fire. The New York City Department of Small Business Services announced last week that they will be providing $128,000 in emergency funds for the small businesses, equating to roughly $18,000 per business. So it's a very unfortunate situation. After the FDNY conducts their investigation about what caused the fire, they're still trying to figure it out. The city will be there to provide some support. So on March 20th, I attended a press conference announcing the restoration of the Ocean Avenue and Parkside Avenue perimeter from Flatbush Avenue, which starts at Empire and Flatbush, to Parade Place. The event was attended by DOT Commissioner Mike Flynn, Councilmember Rita Joseph, and transportation advocacy groups. So if you've been by the Flatbush and Ocean intersection by Empire Boulevard, you may have seen that they've actually started construction. So they will be doing construction in phases. The project will include our new protected bike lane along Ocean Avenue, which I know many people would appreciate, because if you bike down Flatbush Avenue, once you get to Empire, like the bike lane abruptly ends, and then you go straight onto oncoming traffic. So that project would aim to rectify that, as well as bring new sidewalks, trees, lighting, seating, and trash cans. The project will also include a monument honoring Brooklyn trailblazer Shirley Chisholm at the corner of Parkside and Ocean Avenue. So can we give a round of applause for Auntie Shirley, please? So the proposed timeline is an ambitious 18 months. And while that is certainly aggressive, it's encouraging to see that the work is already underway. On March 24th, I attended the 70th Precinct Community Council meeting, which was held at the Flatbush Central Market at the corner of Flatbush and Cayen. The precinct was committed to rotating meetings. The Community Council was committed to rotating meetings across locations in their district to increase accessibility, which I feel is a great step. Many of our board members were in attendance, and we received updates from the 70th Precinct on the work they've been doing. Commanding Officer Werner Spack shared that this may have been the safest start to the year in the precinct's history. So shout out to the 7-0 for the efforts in keeping our community safe while recognizing that the work continues. Board member Chang Ajita is the Community Board 14 rep to the Brookdale Community Advisory Board meetings, and her notes will be attached to the next meeting minutes. Whew. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Shout out Carl, man. Yeah, appreciate you. Last week I attended the Brooklyn Borough Board meeting. The two main items on the agenda was a presentation from the Borough President's Office General Counsel to provide a refresher on the Community Board Code of Conduct and bylaws. They reminded us that internal community board conflict, and we don't have any of that, right? No issues. I bet we smooth over here. All right, cool. So must be resolved internally, and the BP's office is only legally allowed to intervene during extreme circumstances of discrimination, conflicts of interest, threats, or safety concerns. The second presentation was regarding Prospect Park. So the park received a $1.5 million private gift to restore the Meadowport Arch, which is located on the northern part of the park near Grand Army Plaza. The project is expected to take 8 to 10 months and would require the closure of the pedestrian underpass, but there is an adjacent underpass that would remain open for people to still use, and the borough board would decide to vote next month in order to further review the proposal. And for the sake of time, even though we're doing pretty good, I'm going to combine these next two items. This past Saturday, I attended the Flatbush Tenant Coalition's monthly meeting, where I introduced myself as chair of Community Board 14, spoke with many community residents, and shared our office's contact information and provided information about some of the services that we do to support our community. Early in March, I also attended the Citywide Right to Counsel Coalition meeting. This was an energizing gathering that brought together tenants and tenant organizations from across the city, including our very own Flatbush Tenant Coalition. The meeting included presentations from Comptroller Mark Levine, Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gibson, and representatives from multiple elected officials' office. So there's a few key points that I wanted to highlight from this meeting. The Right to Counsel law was passed the New York City Right to Counsel law was passed in 2017, and since then it has expanded to 5 states, 20 cities, and 2 counties across the country. In 2025 alone, the 100 worst landlords, which is a list that the Public Advocate posts every year, accounted for approximately 84,000 code violations, not included the many violations that go unreported or unfiled. Over the last 5 years, 40% of evictions were carried out during the winter months. And in addition to this, I heard 2 testimonies that stood out to me from tenants. One came from a resident of Community Board 14, where a woman with serious health issues who slept with an oxygen tank, and after losing her partner during COVID, had to face an eviction battle with her landlord, and Flatbush Tenant Coalition supported her throughout the process. Another testimony came from a member from Community Board 17, which is one of our bordering community boards, who lives in Flatbush Gardens Apartments, where the tenant made 35 complaints during the winter and ended up purchasing his own thermostat to check the temperature. That showed that there were multiple days where the apartment was 0 degrees, and his 88-year-old mother would wake up with her arm frozen. So these are not abstract 311 reports. These are real conditions affecting real people. And so why am I spending so much time speaking about housing and tenants? By a show of hands, how many people in the room are tenants that rent? All right. So in Community District 14, approximately 76% of our residents are renters. We have 20 buildings that are on the 2025 Public Advocates Worst Landlord list, with many open violations. There are roughly 800 housing violations per 1,000 units, which means that there is nearly a 1 violation per unit in this neighborhood. And we ranked 12th out of 59th community districts citywide in housing code violations. These violations include rats, lack of adequate heat, brutal winters, lead, mold, leaking roofs, and it raises a fundamental question about what it means to have quality and dignified housing. Our office has been strong in helping tenants throughout the district, and I hope as board members we remain committed to serving residents who are hurting and in need and passing off our information. So I'm almost done, and on a lighter note, CB14 will be having a community program. So you may have gotten an email from me and email from the office this morning. So this is the flyer that's back on the table. On this Thursday, April 16th at 6 p.m., Community Board 14 will be screening the documentary of Emergent City. So this documentary does a strong job of highlighting the highly contentious ULURP, which means urban land use and review process, process that occurred at Sunset Park with Community Board 7 during the proposed industry city rezoning about five years ago. I actually had the opportunity to attend the screening and watch it with Community Board 7, so the Sunset Park Community Board, including in the room where much of the discussion and deliberation happened. So this Thursday we will have refreshments, a screening of the film, and then we will have a Q&A with the directors. So please come out. We have an event in person. As many of you that I see once a month, I would like to see y'all more. So yeah, if you can, please try to make it. Yeah, and RSVP. So either go on our website, we have a RSVP link, or email the board office email to confirm your participation. It's at the Community Board 14 office, which is at 810 East 16th Street. Yep, right off the Q train, Avenue H train station. So doors open at 6:30 and the screening would start at 6:30. Well, doors open at 6, screening would start at 6:30. So why are we hosting this screening? About something that took place in Sunset Park. So while I do believe that we live in the best community district in the city, right? All right, we do, right? Facts. With the implementation of City of Yes, the recent ballot proposals, and just a continued development interest in our community district, people are going to continue investing in our neighborhood. And these conversations will remain highly relevant and allow us to prepare for what may or may not come. On May, oh no, that's something else. But the Flatbush Nostrand Junction bid will be installing a New York City DOT art canopy by artist Haimi Han on May 8th. The Pink Clouds canopy will be located at Hillel Plaza, which will provide shade and create a cooler gathering space in one of Community District's 14's heat islands. And a heat island is an area that experiences higher heat from the lack of green space. So this art installation, I think they previously had one, would begin during the second week of May and then through October 2026. So before I finish my report, we have been joined by our Congresswoman, Yvette Clarke. So can we give her a round of applause, please? All right, I'm sorry for throwing you on the spot. I was just so happy to see you. Appreciate you. This is my first board meeting, so as chair. So thank you for joining us. So yeah, flyers have already started popping around our neighborhood. So on about the 2026 Church Avenue Street Fair. So that will be scheduled for Sunday, May 3rd, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And Community Board 14 will be tabling. Right? So yeah, we will be tabling at the Church Avenue Street Fair, and I think it would be very powerful if we could get as many board members and community members as possible tabling with us and just telling people about what we do. So yeah, the board members will be receiving future communications about this effort. But if you have more questions, please reach out to the office or the transition committee to get more information. Today, the mayor announced that there will be a redesign of Grand Army Plaza. So while that isn't in our community district, I'm sure many of us have experience going through, driving, taking the bus to walking through Grand Army Plaza. And over the next 2 weeks, the Department of Transportation will be hosting a series of public workshops beginning on next Thursday, April 23rd. More information and community feedback and a community feedback survey will be posted online during the day of the workshops at newyorkcity.gov/Grand Army Plaza. That's newyorkcity.gov/Grand Army Plaza. And the survey will be available through May 31st. So I'm at my last item. Hallelujah. By a show of hands, who knows that Community Board 14 has a YouTube channel? Everybody's hand should go up. So please feel free. In fact, I urge all of you to watch our committee meetings, which are uploaded to our website and our YouTube channel after every meeting. We had, I had the privilege of watching our Housing and Land Use Committee meeting last month. That was pretty strong. That was very detailed and also provided insight to some of the important work that our district office is doing. I encourage everyone to use those recordings as a tool to learn and ask questions. Many of the organizations that present are actively involved in our neighborhood, and this is oftentimes where you hear firsthand what's coming before everyone else. And it's also a great resource just to revisit discussions and stay informed. And with that, that brings me to the end of the chair's report. Yeah, for sure.
In regards to the meeting that occurred with SBS for the fire that occurred, they're actually partnering up with Islamic Relief USA, who is actually
Yes.
providing funding and grants for those businesses.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for that point of clarity. Thank you. Can we get a round of applause for that? And I would love to welcome the Congress member to the mic, the podium. Yeah.
Microphone check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Let me first of all just say how wonderful it is to be home. I tell people Washington, D.C. is such a very toxic place these days. It's great to be home to detox. Let me thank our district manager, Sean Campbell, and our chair, Jerry Gray, and the executive committee, board members, and the beloved community here at Community Board 14 in your entirety. I want to thank you for your tireless work to improve and uplift our city for our neighbors across Flatbush, Midwood, and Kensington. And congratulations on the great success of your recent 19th annual Youth Resource Fair, which every year serves as a precious reminder of the work that this community board is doing on behalf of Brooklyn families. Let's give it up, y'all. It is an honor and a privilege to be in the presence of true public servants such as yourselves this evening. I wanted to just bring you an update. It's not very often that I'm actually in district when community board meetings are being held, and so I want to take this opportunity, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, and you can do that by going to clark.house.gov, to bring you up to date with all that is taking place in Washington, D.C., and the positions that I've taken. The Algorithmic Accountability Act, I've really dove into the tech space for quite some time now. I currently serve on the Commission on AI. I served on the bipartisan task force on AI, but I was on the ground floor, quite frankly, as the technological era began to emerge. And so there are a couple of pieces of legislation that I believe are foundational in that space, and I think this is critical to our way of life, and that's why I've been involved aside from being a sci-fi geek. The Algorithmic Accountability Act provides greater levels of transparency and accountability for the ways in which companies use AI systems in the decision-making process of high-impact areas. Another piece of legislation that I've introduced is the No Biometric Barriers to Housing Act, which prohibits the use of biometric recognition technology in most public and assisted housing units funded by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The CLOSE Act. The CLOSE Act closes the aggregation exemption written into the Clean Air Act for oil and gas activities, which currently allows fossil fuel production to emit a range of hazardous air pollutants in our communities. And this is a major battle on Capitol Hill right now because, as you can tell by all that is going on, fossil fuels and the petrodollars that they generate are a major part of the conflicts that we find ourselves in as the United States of America. On the healthcare front, I've introduced the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Uterine Fibroid Research and Education Act, which expands federal research, education, and public awareness around uterine fibroids, a condition that disproportionately impacts Black women. I've also introduced the Uterine Cancer Study Act, which directs the Department of Health and Human Services to study the potential link between chemical hair straightening products and uterine cancer. And then, of course, the Marcus Garvey Legacy Project, package, which declares Marcus Garvey's innocence of the charges that led to his imprisonment and deportation, and designates August 17th as Marcus Garvey Recognition Day. In addition to, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. In addition to that, we've been able to bring in over $1.4 billion, million dollars, to, I know, me too. We are dealing with a lot of billions in Washington these days, but not quite frankly for our constituency as of yet. But there was a $850,000 earmark that was put forth for the MTA Interborough Express. The Interborough Express is a transformative rapid transit project that will connect currently underserved areas of Brooklyn and Queens, and it substantially cuts down on travel time between the two boroughs, reducing congestion and expanding economic opportunities for the people who live and work in the surrounding neighborhoods. There's also a $50,000 grant that was given to the American Council of Minority Women, their free legal services for victims of violence program. And this funding will be used to provide free legal services for victims of violence, including legal representation in protective order hearings and family court proceedings, assisting with filing restraining orders and advocacy for survivors in matters related to child custody and visitation. In addition, we have funded the Flatbush Development Corporation Newkirk Plaza storefront improvement with $575,000. And that would provide the 34 businesses that make Newkirk Plaza their home a range of mom and pop stores, as you all know, the opportunity through this funding to implement a series of storefront improvements to the plaza, those including repainting, repairing facades, updating signage and awnings, installing new lighting fixtures, and repairing and replacing windows and doors and enhanced landscaping. I've always had a fondness for Newkirk Plaza, so I hope that this funding will really give it the facelift that it deserves. The community surrounding it is so wonderful. We don't want to see it be dilapidated and our community flourishing. So let's talk about some of the current news. I have to tell you that I'm relieved beyond words to see a ceasefire agreement reached last week with respect to Iran and the United States and the war that is taking place. But I'm disheartened to see that the Islamabad talks have failed. This is a very perilous time that we're living in, and I think it's critical given the hostilities, the war that is raging, for the sake of all the innocents, that we get to an agreement. A reporting suggests that the talks failed over questions of nuclear enrichment and control of the Strait of Hormuz and the financing of Iran's reconstruction post-war. But despite the failure of these peace talks in Pakistan, I pray that the ceasefire continues to hold until talks resume, and that we can establish a path towards an enduring peace beyond the international terror and devastation of this past month. Whether or not this ceasefire holds, Donald Trump's brand of regularly scheduled brinksmanship remains unsustainable for our country and for the world. The ongoing blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is just the latest example of what I consider to be very dangerous proposition coming out of the White House. And it only, to me, indicates that there can be a dangerous commitment to escalation. We know that global supply lines have been disrupted as our oil and gas costs indicate. And if this blockade continues, creating an energy crisis is what we can expect that will impact the most disadvantaged people in the world above all. And it will also dangerously, I think, raise tensions with China, which relies on the Strait for its oil. So the Iran war, I oppose this war. I oppose it on constitutional and moral grounds. I will never support war as anything but the last resort. And it's clear that it was Donald Trump's first choice. Donald Trump never came to Congress for approval to go to war, and if he had, I wouldn't have given it. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb, but is no closer or further from the bomb today than it was 2 months ago. It was less than a year ago that Trump said Iran's nuclear program was obliterated, yet the nuclear threat has been this war's primary justification since it started. Guilty and evil men were killed in this war, and I won't shed any tears about their deaths. But far too many good and innocent children have been killed as well. If this war is indeed over, then we need to analyze what it has achieved. Khamenei still rules Iran. The regime is more radical and dug in than before the war began. Iran's destroyed defenses and weaponry can be rebuilt. And countless civilians whose liberation from the regime was used as justification for the war have died. So we are going to be getting a bill, hopefully, back in the House of Representatives to move forward with a war, a strategy to really put an end to this war. And my hope that the authorization of war that we are able to garner from what is taking place will pass. This administration has proven, unfortunately, to be trustworthy in its efforts, and we really need a diplomatic solution here. I don't believe that building up a wartime footing is going to get us to where we need to be and make any of us any safer. So with respect to a number of things taking place, it is painful to be in Washington, D.C., and to see how this administration has fueled hate across this nation and, quite frankly, around the world. When I think about the 9th District of New York, I tell people all the time, this district has been in the crosshairs of every cruel policy that this administration has pursued. And that cruelty comes with a huge dose of hatred. And when I think about how we come together to protect one another in this community, to have such a divisive, to have such cruelty being unleashed across this nation has not in any way inured to the benefit of the 9th District of New York or the people across this nation. So I have stood resolutely by this community on many different levels, whether it is the fight against anti-Semitism or the fight against Islamophobia, whether it's pushing back on the bigotry and hatred that has been demonstrated, particularly for communities of color, and whether it is the dehumanization of immigrants, where this community has flourished for generations as a portal for immigrant families. My voice has been a leading voice in this space, and it will continue to be, because I'm a beneficiary of this community. My parents came to the United States, many of you know, as immigrants from the beautiful island nation of Jamaica, as foreign students. And so if it weren't for the village that raised the child, I wouldn't be standing here before you today. Everyone equally poured into my ability to give back and to be of service to this community. And so as I tell people, not only am I paying it back to all of those neighbors who made that possible, but I'm paying it forward to their grandchildren that are moving back into the district with all of the Montana tags, the Iowa tags, what have you. So I want you to know that that's a battle that has to be ongoing, and it will be for generations to come, given what has been unleashed by this administration. Let me just say that I do believe that at the end of the day, we have an obligation to go out to vote. We have to preserve this democracy. And the only way of doing that is by making our voices heard. It is very clear that this administration has an authoritarian streak. And if it were up to them, there wouldn't be any more elections. And so the only way to counteract that, to really show how much we love our communities, how much we love our nation, and how much we have to offer the world. I tell people, the great thing about the United States of America is that people from around the world have come in different waves to make this their home. We have the ability to speak to the world and speak to them in a way in which we are building, not breaking down, not destroying. And so I hope that we can return to that, but that only comes about when we are engaged, when we are actively engaged. And so I want to encourage you in this moment. I know the cost of living is killing you, because it's killing me. I live in 2 different cities, both of which are very expensive to live in. And, at the end of the day, there are a lot of things we got to get done. The most important thing right now is for us to recognize our civic responsibility, our patriotic responsibility, and that is to make sure that in these upcoming elections, we go out to vote, that we encourage others to go out to vote. And I know that many of you are on social media, you got a lot of friends, you got a lot of likes. Use your influence. You're all very influential. Encourage others. Maybe they don't live in this district. Maybe they live in other parts of the country. It is critical that we stand up to what is taking place right now and that we register our own grievance with what is taking place by going out and overwhelming the polls and voting our interests, voting our future. So let me just thank you once again for holding it down while I'm in Washington, D.C. It's great to see young, new leadership at the table. And I encourage you all, and young at heart. It's great to see that, the traditions of our community and building from the grassroots up continues to be something that the community can look forward to, engage with. As a former council member, I know how important the community boards are. And to each and every one of you that take the time from your busy schedules to be here in these meetings, to raise the concerns that impact your families and by extension the broader community, I want to thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule. And if ever you find yourself in Washington, D.C., please stop by. I need to see my community showing up and showing out just as much as all of my other colleagues. And for those of you who don't know, our district office is located at 222 Lenox Road, and that is between Nostrand and Rogers. We are there to serve you. Service is at the heart of what we do. And we know that a lot of folks are struggling right now. Our office is there to make that struggle and that load a little bit lighter. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the evening.
If we could also thank you and acknowledge your staff, because Ali Slavin has been stalwart at these meetings for a long time, and Orlando Ross reaches out a lot, so we appreciate all your staff, but those two are our points of contact most often, and they do a great job.
Yeah, and I got the Congress member to speak at my first full board meeting. I got to say, hi, Mom. I got the Congress. Before we get into topical committee reports, I do want to acknowledge Taisha Allen from Assemblymember Brashad Herman's office for joining us. So now I'll be inviting the co-chairs of our topical committees to share their reports, beginning with Youth Services, Education, and Libraries, followed by Community Environment, Cultural Affairs, and Economic Development Committee.
Always be prepared.
We thought just in case you had choreographed something.
We did, of course. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday, as usual. Ornella Parker, co-chair of Youth Services, Libraries, and Education Committee. So I always get it like, it was in the wrong order, though. It's YCL. But yeah, I get it. So I'm going to start off our report for today, followed by my co-chair, Eric. But to start us off, you guys have already heard it. On March 11th, we had our annual Youth Resource Fair, known previously as the Youth Conference. This was our 19th, I want y'all to sit with that, 19th annual Youth Resource Fair. So for 19 years, this board, this community has been putting forward for our youth and their families resources to support not only their development, but their education, what's to come next, and making sure they have all the supports they need. And I think it was you, Joe, that said it during you said it during while I was standing in the Youth Resource Fair and had me sit with it for a while. That is a large amount of impact. That is thousands of children and families' lives we've changed over 19 years. So without further ado, I do want to say, while we planned it in the background, you guys really made it happen. You showed up for us, you volunteered, you invited families and friends out. So if you could give yourself a round of applause, thank you for everything you guys do. And it was a huge success. A lot of people already spoke about this, but we had 70 organizations there. That is massive, right? And then we had hundreds of families and kids come throughout the time that we were there. So again, really major, and that is just a dent in the years that we've had, and that's thousands of kids' lives that we have impacted in some way, some shape, or some form. And the engagement was super high. We had kids playing bingo, finding organizations, trying to get a part of the raffle. So it was really nice to be a part of that space and see kids really take on, going to sit with people for their mock interviews, leaving feeling really rejuvenated and excited about, hey, I actually signed up to do summer youth, and now I feel prepared to do an interview. And having kids literally say that to you really makes you stop for a second and be like, wow, we really just did that, y'all. So again, thank you, y'all. But then I just want to turn to the CB14 office. Sarah, Sean, thank you guys so much for making this happen. And Sarah, a huge shout out to you because, again, unexpectedly, you had to do a lot of the work in the background alone, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I know you were running around in that hot gym from when we were there in the morning till the very end. So thank you for everything, Sarah. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, and so, this is outreach, poster distribution, school engagement, coordination of the iftar boxes, setup, breakdown, welcoming youth in, all of our mock interviewees, DJing, creating and coordinating the scavenger hunt. It takes a village, and what a village we have, so it's really great. And we also, I just want to say, we know that our friend Dwayne Joseph was smiling down on all of us that day. He was certainly celebrating our community coming together, and we're grateful to his wife, Caroline, who came and continued to support the event. I also noticed on the table, and I hope someone will talk about this, there's a summer legislative assistant program in Dwayne's honor as well in Senator Myrie's office for college juniors and seniors. So if you know anybody, the application deadline is April 30th. So take a look at that. 3 months of a legislative assistant. So anyway, opportunities abound.
And then, as usual, we are big on feedback. We took your feedback from the 18th annual to make sure the 19th went smoother, and your feedback literally made what we saw come to life in March. So the 20th is next year. I'm already thinking about what's gonna happen. So planning is gonna start now. It's gonna be bigger and better. Like 20 years, that's major. So please think back to if you were present, like what the process felt like. Any feedback you have for us on like, hey, we must keep this, or hey, this didn't, there were some kinks in this, please bring it to our next meeting, which is May 6th at 6:30. It will be on WebEx. Bring your feedback. We're gonna spend time collecting that feedback. We really do take your feedback serious because we took the last feedback, we applied it. So if we don't get hear from you guys, we don't know what we need to change and improve on. So again, May 6th, next meeting, 6:30, bring your feedback on what you think we need to continue to do or what we need to improve to make the 20th Youth Resource Fair the biggest, best, the best we've ever had in all of our years.
I also want to shout out Carissa for being the MC and DJ for the youth conference.
They're making the flyers.
And making the flyer. Yeah. Next, we'll have Community Environment, Cultural Affairs, and Economic Development Committee, followed by Human Services.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Christopher. I am the chair of the committee that he just said. I won't say it again because it takes up quite a bit of space. Lovely to be with you all tonight. One more congratulations to an incredible youth resource fair. It's so exciting. Can't wait for 20. So we had our meeting this month on March 14th. You will see these 3 pages are notes from Elios Rodriguez, who represented Prospect Park, talking about all of the successes from 2026 and what they're looking forward to in 2027. There is a wonderful PowerPoint on the CB14 website. I will highlight a few things because I'm not going to read through all of this. I am not our chair and don't have that kind of stamina. Right. One really exciting thing, we talk a lot about flooding. It's a huge issue here. We got a very successful FY26 designation as the first Blue Belt area in Brooklyn around Prospect Park, which the whole Blue Belt program is designed to take a comprehensive approach to make bodies of water more resilient. So rain gardens, different kind of coastal reinforcement, a huge project. It was $50 million from the mayor's office, and I believe there's up to $68 million from DEP. There's some other money that got thrown in there. So a huge project that's going to take quite a bit of time, but really, really impactful to the neighborhood. Lots of applications for improvements. The Willink restroom, every time it rains, it floods, they have to close it, so they've applied for $2.5 million in the coming year. Lots of other things. One big thing in that FY26, they restored 200 previously cut full-time positions at the parks, which is huge, and includes the restoration of 100 parks enforcement during after hours and kind of keeping everything running 24 hours, which is huge for the community. Similar in personnel, they had a really successful, over 2,000 volunteers gave over 16,000 hours to the park in 2026. If I had to guess, I would say some of you maybe are in this room. If you would like to volunteer at Prospect Park, there are so many opportunities on the Prospect Park Alliance website, constant garden days and all sorts of things to get involved. So many other things. They partnered with the Department of Ed for the second year, summer meals for kids in the summer, huge help for the community, and also had New York Presbyterian doing a sexual health mobile medical unit on a weekly basis, which is amazing, and then ran lots of health-based programming using the beautiful resources in Prospect Park. So we are thrilled to kind of see that all continue. Let's see, on March 28th, they also, Carl Henry and I and a few others from the room were at the Brooklyn Open Spaces Symposium that was hosted in the Picnic House. Really, really fantastic day of programming. The commissioner, the Brooklyn Commissioner for Parks, Marty Mayer was there, and then Morgan Maroc, the president of Prospect Park Alliance, really kind of talking through how we're approaching access to green space in Brooklyn. There were Red Hook people there talking about their experience with the pool, really comprehensive and lots of resources provided. At the meeting, we had the Department of Small Business Services present. We had 2 really wonderful representatives talking about all of the services that SBS provides, which we talked a little bit earlier about the kind of relief money they've given. They do so much for small businesses and entrepreneurs and workforce development. I am not an entrepreneur. After this meeting, I really was trying to think of a business I could start because there are so many resources from SBS. Workforce One centers, workforce development programs, consumer protection partnerships. There is so much on their website, nyc.gov/business. So resources for people trying to work and for people running a business. Really incredible stuff. Citywide. Lastly, we had a wonderful presentation and kind of note about an issue that has really kind of been difficult for the neighborhood. Noam Abrams, I'm sure you'll kind of give a little update, but I will soon ask for a motion to support a resolution from our board to support New York State Senate Bill 8821. Right now in the district, the rule for putting out trash is 6 p.m. in a bin, 8 p.m. in bags under the updated sanitation rules. If you put your trash out early, you receive a fine. This makes people choose between complying with the law of sanitation and religious law in a number of cases. And that is not something that anybody should really have to struggle with in our district or anywhere. So we are working to support a resolution for New York State S 8821, which remedies this issue. It allows for a 3 p.m. set out. Noam can clarify anything else, but we will ask for a resolution and a motion.
Thank you. It would be support from this community board to allow that set out time in this community. And it's not only, it has been the religious community that has had to make that choice, but we've also in the district office over time since they implemented the earlier set out times, gotten a lot of calls from older community members who have concerns when they have to walk out in the dark in the wintry months to put that out. So it would apply to anybody who, feels that, and it would be only on Fridays, right, Noam? So it's a change only in the Friday set out time.
Thank you, Sean. Great. And we ask for a motion here and now.
Is there a question?
Yeah. Question.
Quick question. And this goes off something Sean just said. Is the proposed legislation that the Friday set out time for anyone be allowed earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not based on like a religious exemption. It's just
Correct.
it would allow people to put it out earlier, which would accommodate their religious beliefs, but it's not actually itself a religious exemption, it's just a set out time.
You don't have to convert.
Yeah. Yes.
I know that the times were changed around the time they were trying to combat like the rodent issues. Would there be any like changes around like the pickup times as well, or if they're letting out earlier, are they going to be sitting around for all that time?
So wonderful question for Noam, perhaps.
Yeah, so the pickup times are always the next morning. So those wouldn't be changing. It would still be the garbage trucks coming out Saturday morning to do the collection. The change would only affect set out time. They changed the set out time to be 8 p.m., which is after the start of Sabbath for most weeks during the winter especially. So this would allow people to put out their trash a little earlier. That doesn't change the new rules they've put in place about containerization, proper bagging, making sure things are out of the way and on the curb. And really, that's what's been combating the rat problem. There is no provable evidence that the extra 2 hours of the can on the curb adds anything to rats or dirtiness. It's specifically set out time. It's not an exemption for just placing your trash wherever.
Thank you.
So do we have a motion? Oh,
Two more
any more
questions.
questions?
Member Dennis.
Member Dennis?
Yeah, a question I have is, would this, does this bill, I know it allows for trash set out earlier, but would you still be able to get a ticket if the trash you put out is non-compliant? Like if you put out what you're
Yes.
supposed to put it in? Okay.
It is only the set out time.
Thank you.
Musa, yeah.
And is the change in the time year round or just in like the winter months? Or?
It would be year round.
Any more questions?
Motion to approve.
All right.
Second.
All right. So just to repeat, to clarify, there's been a motion placed on the floor that's been properly seconded for Community Board 14 to vote in favor of allowing an earlier Friday set-out time for everyone in our community. So it has been properly seconded, and we'll move to a vote. So board members, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any members against? One. Any abstentions? Any ineligible? All right, motion carries.
Thank you, everybody.
Next, we would have Human Services. What's up? Got the guns out. Hold on. Hold on. I'm used to seeing him in a suit.
So I told you I was gonna. Mic check. Mic check. Folks can hear me. So I told you I was gonna power down. I wasn't kidding. I wasn't kidding. So I'm Carl Henry Cesar, former chair. Congrats to the new chair, and I'm also the new co-chair of Human Services Committee with Yvette Claire Jean.
So excited to welcome Carl as co-chair. And we have the red going on tonight. And also excited to be part of the Yvette crew. Congresswoman, my name is also Yvette, so happy to have you here. So we want to invite everyone here to our meeting next week. It is next Monday, April 20th at 6:30 on WebEx. We'll have two presentations, or a presentation and a discussion. The first presentation will be on foster programs offered by Mercy First. And then we are going to be discussing our annual nonprofit roundtable, which is happening right here in this room on May 19th. And we've already confirmed the keynote speaker, Sean, right? Yes. Okay, great. And the speaker is the VP of Programs for the Citizens Committee of New York. And I didn't know what the Citizens Committee of New York was until Sean mentioned them to me, and they are the nation's first microfunding organization, and they provide financial and capacity building support to New York City leaders who are making their communities more connected, resilient, and healthier. So we're gonna have Jose come and speak to us at the nonprofit roundtable on May 19th. The office has a list of nonprofits who do great work in our district. So if you know of any new nonprofits or that you would like us to invite, please reach out to the office so we can get them an invitation to the May 19th nonprofit roundtable.
So give me a second here. So thank you very much for those of it. And so two other announcements as well. So this Saturday, April 18th at Prospect Park. So Carmel's Depression and Anxiety Wellness Foundation, otherwise CDWAF, they're having a Walk for Resilience community fundraiser. And so the walk race portion will start at 8:30 a.m. And then there's also community activities that are supposed to go from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And per the founder and the CEO, this is more than just a walk. It is a vibrant Brooklyn gathering, bringing together residents, families, organizations, and local leaders together for wellness activities, community engagement outreach, and collective awareness around depression and anxiety. And so there are flyers that state where exactly in Prospect Park that meeting, like all the stuff would take place and where people would meet. But just a heads up that that is happening on Saturday, April 18th. And the flyer did say rain or shine. So hopefully this nice weather we have here, it stays the whole week as well too. And then the second thing as well too is that Con Edison did say that they recently expanded their energy affordability program to help more New Yorkers in need of support. So what I'm telling folks is, if you go on YouTube and you search the Brooklyn Borough Board, President's YouTube channel, watch the March 3rd Borough Board meeting, because about 17 minutes in, you have some representatives from Con Ed who speak about programs. And the first chunk of that is about that energy affordability. And so what I'm telling you is definitely watch that video, because there's a lot of info in terms of which people qualify, what are some of the issues people may face when they qualified in the past. So watch that video. And unfortunately, I don't have like contact info, but what I would say is the person who did speak, they did like give their contact info there. And I would also say if folks have any questions, they could also share those with the district office, and then, you know, the district office often, and then we could find which people we would need to relay those concerns and questions to. And so that is it from us, from the newly minted Human Services Committee.
Next, we have community safety, followed by housing and land use.
evening, everyone. We just want to wish everyone who celebrated a happy Passover, happy Easter, happy Eid. And I just wanted to celebrate my esteemed co-chair. She was nominated as a Woman of Distinction from Rodney's Bashar. Very honored to be able to work with her for so many years. Okay, so we're having a meeting on the 27th. Everybody write it down, very important. Al Matthew from Drum is going to be presenting. He's going to be presenting on the work of the think tank and also about the mayor's hate crime unit. And we're also going to, there's going to be a meeting at the, you want to talk about the meeting on the 7th? Okay, there's going to be a meeting at the 70th precinct on April 17th at 9 a.m. And they're going to be talking about the new, the building for a new station.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about the results or whatever comes up at our meeting as well. So all of you should definitely attend both those meetings.
So, good evening, everyone. And ditto to what she said, and thanks to Sean, and congratulations again to Rogine, and thanks to those who came out to Sector David meeting, or Sector D. As you know, that the precinct council is trying to go to the sectors so that everyone gets an opportunity to attend. So this one, in this month, on the 29th, will be back at the ADAPT Center at 7:30 p.m. So please come out. We'll be discussing what happened in the legislative breakfast that Hindi was speaking about. It will be on the 17th, and I want to thank all those elected officials and community partners who already RSVP'd so that we can know who's coming. We'll be doing a walkthrough at the precinct. And as you know, we're doing this because they're no longer on the statements of these city statements of these, right, Sean? They took them off, did they put them back on?
Yeah, they haven't put it back on yet, but we wrote a letter requesting that they do so.
Okay, so here's the thing. We need our officers, it's dilapidated. When it floods, when it rains, it floods. We've done roll call standing in mud. I've gone down there, prayed for them while they're standing in mud, and Pastor Thornton has done the same. And in the summer, it's hot. Now we need our officers to be healthy and safe, and also the ADAPT Center is across the street where many of the patients or residents use wheelchairs. It's chaos. It becomes chaotic. And this winter, pipes broke on the street. Officers' cars were frozen. Residents could hardly get out. It was bad. So we do need them to have a station house, and if anything, freed up so that the residents can be able to travel safely and securely. And so please come out to the legislative breakfast. It's starting at 9 a.m. It's at 154 Lawrence Street. You know where the precinct house is. We're doing the walkthrough and then going across to the ADAPT Center. Also, I just want to make mention of that on June 1st, save the date, Brookdale is asking, they're having in-person meeting, the CAB, the Community Advisory Board, and they would like to invite at least 3 members of community or board members to the meeting. You'll get to meet all the heads of every department is usually there, including the CEO, Dr. Scott, so, who was also honored by Rodney's Bishop, by the way. So please come out, and I want to thank you, Congresswoman Clark, for all you're doing, and also for the bill for Marcus Garvey. As a relative of Marcus Garvey, my family and I, thank you. And thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Next, we'll have housing and land use, followed by transportation.
Greetings, everyone. I'm Greg Alvarez. This is Melissa Minnick. We are the co-chairs of the Housing and Land Use Committee. We just like to report out this evening that we did have a meeting on March 30th, which can be viewed on our YouTube channel as well for all those who missed it. And I'm just going to talk about our first item that was on the agenda. It was very busy. So the first agenda item was a presentation by Camden Ventures. That was David Rowe and team, who went through the process of building and managing affordable housing developments. They took us from start to finish, from planning to funding to zoning to construction to management, everything that goes into it. And it was just a very informative presentation. So I invite everyone to take a look. They even shouted out, was it 97 Crook, which is in our district, which is one of their buildings. So. Again, it was just a very informative, and just to give you a flavor for what really goes into getting these developments built. I'm going to turn it over to Melissa.
Thanks. As I said, it was a very packed meeting that night. So we followed that with a presentation by Annie Larkin, our Fund for the City of New York Planning Fellow, and she provided us with some updates about the City of Yes impact on CB14 and what that looked like, the way that she was really like envisioning and kind of playing out what some of these ideas would look like. And she walked us through some slides, some images, and with the idea of like ADUs, the accessory dwelling units, what that would look like in parts of our neighborhood, and really maybe a look of like how tall buildings could actually go among different neighborhoods. Because we do have a very diverse district, and so answered a lot of questions as well, as might be imagined. And that was really, really useful to hear that. And that wasn't all. We also had a third presentation that night. So our own Sarah Sklar shared a lot of tenant resources and support places. She walked us through how tenants can know your rights, and that includes the ABCs of housing. Always very important. There's affordable housing, so where people can find affordable housing resources they can use as things get pricier and pricier. And neighborhood tenant organizations, a lot of things like that. And I don't know how many people in here have actually checked out our website, all aspects of it. So, I don't know. I have my doubts. But there's actually a lot of this, all of this, I'll say, you can actually find on our community district's website, which is pretty awesome. Just saying, not all community boards have that. I'm just going to throw out a couple things. A reminder about our film screening, again, Emergent City. I think that's a little relevant, and RSVP for that this Thursday. And just speaking back to Congresswoman Clark, thank you for everything that you just shared. It's actually Immigrant Heritage Week. I have been posting about that all afternoon in my job. So I think a lot of what you said is very relevant to that. And I think that's something that's very important. There's one last thing I will also throw out there, I promise, not gonna talk forever. But the Civic Engagement Commission, they have been doing some workshops for how community boards in particular can, as they say, explore how to deepen and expand democratic engagement through three proven methods: civic assemblies, legislative theater, and participatory budgeting. And we still have 2 workshops actually coming up. These are all online, but there's one actually on the 14th at noon, so people who are available during the day from 12 to 1 o'clock this Wednesday, and another on the 15th, so an evening workshop. And I'm not sure if everybody gets all of these emails or if we have somewhere else, maybe that we posted these. Sean, you might know better.
On our resource tab usually, but We do also just try to send them out as well.
Fantastic. And thank you.
Thank you.
Next we have a transportation.
Hey, everybody. I have two pre-announcements. One, I am just very thankful that today was 75 degrees and I was able to wear shorts today. So shout out to shorts and short weather. The second is on the subject of our presentation. My name is Musa Hassoun. This is Benjamin Bedet. We're both co-chairs of transportation. I'm going to give you my update on the Transportation Committee's the presentation the Transportation Committee received from the MTA on the IBX. I do want to give a shout out though to Nora Pena. I would give her a round of applause because she stepped in when I couldn't attend and she co-chaired the meeting herself. So just round of applause for her. I did watch the YouTube though, and you all should watch the YouTube, and I'm going to debrief based on that. So the MTA came to give us an update on the Interborough Express project. Basically, you'll get most of the details from the presentation if you go check it out, but I'll give you some highlights. First, the main pitch, or one of the main pitches of the IBX, as you all know, because we've presented on this before, is that it would create connections and increase access in the neighborhood. They are planning 3 stations on McDonald Ave, East 16th, and Flatbush Nostrand. The connections, those stations would allow connections to all 5 of the subway lines in our district, the F, BQ, and the 25. The MTA believes that the extension of the IBX in the neighborhood and throughout Brooklyn and Queens would increase access significantly for residents. If you're looking just at the station at Flatbush Nostrand, they estimate, roughly speaking, that it would double the access to jobs, healthcare facilities, daycare and pre-K institutions, and cultural institutions. Now, in terms of process and where we're at, they are in the middle of the environmental review process that started last October in 2025. They received over 500 comments so far, and they are hoping to complete it later this year. There's been a lot of questions about eminent domain and buying up land, private property, and so they addressed that right up front. They basically said, as they've mentioned before, there are a small number of properties that will need to be acquired. Now, in some cases, it may be the entire property. In other cases, it may be part of a property. But those acquisitions are expected to begin towards the end of this year. A lot of that still isn't scoped out because they have to study and understand exactly how much they need. They emphasize, though, that they are committed to minimizing acquisitions, especially acquisitions from residential properties. So in terms of the overall process, there are 3, it's expected to, the design process is expected to take over 2 years. There are 3 main areas: the due diligence process, the civil design process, and then the system design process. All of this, you can get more details on the YouTube channel, but basically it involves surveys, it involves site work and evaluation of systems and storage, and actually designing the actual stations themselves. The due diligence aspect, which is just them, walking the route and try to understand what's wrong with the current setup and how do they change things up and what do they need to build out. That's expected to be done by the end of this summer. They're about 50% done doing that along the entire route, and they're mostly done with their review in the community district. Civil design is also expected to be done by fall 2026, and then the system design aspect is expected to be done in the winter. Winter of next year. Now, they intend to, in terms of public outreach and public engagement, they're going to have 6 workshops this year on station design. So far, they've hosted 12 open houses, 10 pop-ups, a bunch of 4 environmental meetings, and a bunch of quarterly community council meetings. They've received feedback so far, and some of the feedback that they're currently working on or integrating is feedback related to stormwater management and then the electric grid capacity. So they described some of their efforts in those areas to address some concerns. During the Q&A, there were questions on eminent domain, public restroom access, Newkirk, and the overall feedback process. Thank you.
So a shorter part of the meeting was a student safety project on Coney Island Avenue for the public school 889. There is a pedestrian safety island that that the DOT wants to put on Coney Island between Turner Place and Hinckley Place, One of the things that it's going to do is Hinckley Place and Turner Place both have streets that go off Coney Island Avenue, and they both go off different ways. What they're going to do is they're going to move one is one way, another is another one way, try to make the traffic easier as the street is going to slightly narrow. It's also made with in mind not only for safety of students, safety of teachers as well, and safety of pedestrians overall that are there. Besides for that, there is a few concerns. There are still kinks being worked out. It's still very much in the design and project phase of it. One of the thoughts is turning onto those streets as well to make sure that it's not just the safety pedestrian island that's there, it's also just safety in terms of driving, going around with speeds and everything else as well. They still haven't reached out to, the DOT still hasn't reached out to the fire department yet for, in terms of concrete, or there are certain things that still haven't been done, but they're letting us know ahead of time, and this is going to be something that we're going to keep you updated in the future.
We have one other, just FYI, we are working on a May meeting during the, okay, yeah, we are. And so far, we're still working on the exact agenda, but we have one group, Open Plans and Advocacy Organization. They're going to come and present on something called low traffic neighborhoods, discuss the concept generally, and then, you know, I encourage everybody to join, ask your questions, and we'll all learn a little more. Thank you.
Just to jump in on that, that's May 14th, hold the date, and this just in, the DOT Bridges Unit also wants to come and give an update on the Beverly Road Bridge. And you may have said it, Moose, I'm sorry if I was distracted and didn't hear, but there are IBX survey links on our website, and we are posting every time we get an update on IBX, so the spring in-person input sessions will be on the website under projects, IBX, it's usually at the top. So check that out, and please put your input there.
And lastly, we'll have the Ad Hoc Transition Committee.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki Levinson Angulo.
Hi, everyone. Again, it's Ornella Parker.
So we want to thank everybody who at our last meeting took the survey. As a reminder, the point of the Transitions Committee is to try and smooth the impact of term limits when they kick in and make sure that we have good knowledge transfer and high engagement. Some of you took the survey online. Some of you took it old-fashioned pen and paper. Thank you so much. We had my phone is reminding me that it's time for me to go to bed. So we had 20 plus respondents, and again, just want to thank you all. So, and many of you indicated interest in supporting a specific idea. So we're going to tell you which ideas were the most popular, but if you did express that interest, we'll reach out to you and find a way for you to meaningfully engage and actually do something fun related to bringing an idea to life. So there were two questions, and I'm going to tell you about the first, and then Ornella will tell you about the second. And the first one was, how can we capture knowledge from longtime board members? Who in the audience would consider themselves a longtime board member? I actually would. Joe, you haven't been on the board a long time. Like, and then who here is like a newer board member, just so we can, cool. I find sometimes at board meetings it's hard because you come in and you just like sit, and then you don't ever see anyone's faces. So it's interesting to see the composition. But the two most popular ideas were, one, to have a mentorship program where we paired longtime board members with newer board members. There were 17 people where that was their number one priority. And then the other was to plan some sort of social event where newer and older board members could get to know each other. And that was the top priority for 12 respondents.
And then the second question was around how do we increase engagement with our community members? Because as you guys know, our role as board members is to represent our community. And the top rated item from that survey was to table at least one community event or festival in each quadrant of the district each year. Your wish is our command, because guess what? The very first one is happening on May 3rd. Our chair spoke about it earlier, but amazing Nikki has already created a survey for you all with all of the festivals from now until September. in our district, we'll have this flyer up by the table, but if you're walking out, you take a look back, there is one on the door on the right-hand side, so you could just scan it, submit your, hey, I want to help out on this day. Your role will just be, you sit at the table, we'll have the pamphlet, we'll have all information for you. It's to engage the community, help them know what our community board does, and get them to want to participate, show up, and be a part of the democratic process, right? And then the good thing about it is when you use this platform, it sends you a calendar invite, so it goes right to your calendar, you can't say you forgot, and it tells you the times you signed up for, so you can't say, I forgot. So all your issues have been sorted out with this Sign Up Genius. So take a second today if you can, just quickly scan the QR code, see what the different dates are, and you could sign up now for all of them that you will be able to join and what specific times you're willing to support, okay?
Just one more time, I want more cell phones in the air. You know, you don't even have to do it, just pretend. Just pretend you're taking a picture of the QR code. But I just want to emphasize, this will be fun, but for it to work, we really need board members to volunteer. So we broke every fair, which most of them, with one exception, run from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We broke every fair into 1.5-hour shifts. You would never be alone, right? You can if you're like, I am free that Saturday and I just want to be civically engaged, you can sign up for the whole day. So you can sign up for multiple shifts in one day, and I would love if we could have we would love if there could be at least two. There have to be really at least two people. We all need buddies, but 2 people per shift. But this won't work. We cannot do this without the board getting involved, getting out there. I also think it will be a really wonderful learning opportunity. The wonderful staff of the CB14 office, you guys man the inbox and you see what kind of questions people ask. But this is a great way for us to learn what questions do people have about community boards? What are they interested in? What are they most complaining about? So please, 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 again, even if you just pretend, survey. It's not working. Okay, well, we'll send a link or something like that. But please sign up. It will be a lot of fun.
All right. And then, just to tie that up, everyone should be fighting for the 3 spots that are available for each of them, because we looked at this and at least 10 to 12 people said that this is their top rated thing they want to do. So those 10 people should be fighting to table for those slots. And then just a heads up, look out, we are going to have a virtual meeting coming up. We haven't confirmed the date yet, but once we do, it will be in the email, so look out for that as well, all right? Thank you, guys.
So that brings us to the end of our topical committees. And before we transition into the public session, can we get a round of applause for Wayne Rosenfeld and the East Millwood Jewish Center for hosting our meeting? As well as Mark Moss for live streaming the meeting. We couldn't do this without y'all, so thank you. So now we're at our public comment session. Board members are expected to remain for the entire public comment period. Speakers can sign up for time in the back of the room. Matters of civic interest, announcements of public events are invited. No partisan political appeals or advertising for-profit enterprises are permitted. Each speaker will be permitted to speak up to 3 minutes and may not receive additional time from another speaker. Speakers are directed to address the assembly from the front of the room. We used to have a podium. You might get it back next meeting. And at the conclusion of the 3-minute period, each speaker must return to his or her seat. The board has an obligation to conduct business in an orderly manner. Any person preventing the meeting from continuing may be asked to leave. So it is 8:34 p.m. and the first speaker is Portia Edwards.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Portia Edwards. I'm the District Director for State Senator Zelna Myri's office. Hi, Congresswoman. Okay. So I have a couple of events that are coming up that I just wanted to talk about. Let's go in order. This Wednesday, we are doing a tax prep in our office. Wednesday is tax day, April 15th. It's the last day to do your taxes without getting a fine. You can do your taxes after that, but if you owe, then you'll most likely be getting a fine for doing it late. So it's going to be at our office. This is our flyer. It's in partnership with Grow Brooklyn, where the office is not doing the taxes. Grow Brooklyn will be doing them, but they're utilizing our space. We haven't done this since, to be honest, COVID. The last one that we did in our office was in 2020, and we're happy to bring it back to be able to help as many people as possible on the last day to do their taxes. It's from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. It is by appointment only. You have to make an appointment and do it really quickly because the appointments are going really fast. Okay, so that's one. Our office is located at 1077 Nostrand Avenue and the corner of Lincoln Road. If you need any information about that, those flyers are in the back. All of the things I'm gonna say, the flyers are in the back as well. The next couple of things that I'm going to talk about are certificate programs. So Earth Day, we have a Earth Day participation summary essay program going on in the state. So if you know anyone, any child that would like to participate, all of the information is here. Usually they'll write a poem or an essay about Earth Day, and then we post it on our socials. We post it on the state website, and we also print them out and we put them in our Albany office. So we're super excited about that. The next is the graduate certificate program. If you know of anyone graduating in the graduating class this year, and you would like for them to be honored with like a certificate from the state senator, fill out this form. The website is here. We do it. It goes to all of our schools anyway. The deadline is on the website. I don't remember the deadline, but all of the state schools within our district get this, but if you know of a particular person that you would like to see be honored by the state senator, make sure they do this. Something on the back, yep. Okay, coming up in May 21st, we're having our Immigration Resource Fair in partnership with Councilmember Rita Joseph's office. That's going to be at Lennox Road Baptist Church. And so we're super excited. I'm glad somebody mentioned that it's Immigration Week. And so we're super excited. I think almost all of us in our office, maybe except for 2 people, are immigrants. So we're pretty diverse in our office and we're really excited about it. We always want to make sure that we're giving as much information to the community that we serve as possible. The next, 2 seconds. Job fair on May 5th in partnership with Ferris Franz Forest office, Congresswoman Yvette Clark's office, Monique Chandler Waterman, a lot of people. It's a job fair that we do twice a year. If you know about it, it is really great. Last year in October, we serviced almost 3,000 people in the building, and we are so excited about it. We are excited to do more. So if you know someone who needs a job, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Yes, and then last but not least, I'm so sorry if you give me 2 more seconds. This one is super duper close to my heart, and I'm gonna try not to cry while talking about it.
It's okay, you can cry, stay space.
We started a summer legislative assistance program in honor of Dwayne Joseph. Dwayne was a very, very close friend of mine. I don't think I've ever talked about it, but Dwayne was a very close friend of mine, and in his passing, I'm sure you all know, before his passing, Dwayne is a very strong advocate in bringing up the next generation. And so this program is to honor the legacy of Dwayne. The requirements here are for juniors and seniors. Every year in our office, we have an internship program. We usually do it through SYEP. And we also do it in partnership with the state. It will be our first year starting our very own program where we're actually paying for it through our staff budget to be able to have a legislative not session assistant, but legislative assistant to help us with our legislation. We our office works throughout the summer to build legislation. A lot of our legislation is researched with our interns. And so they have the opportunity to put on their resume that they helped build a particular legislation. Our climate bill, a lot of our interns worked on that as well. And so we're super proud of this and super excited to launch this program. The deadline for application is on April 30th. Thank you so much.
Next, we'll have Linda Kaufman, followed by David Kupferberg. Linda. Going once, going twice. Linda Kaufman. All right, next we have David.
Good evening. My name is David Kupferberg, and I am a member of Passengers United. Passengers United is a Section 501c3 nonprofit, nonpartisan transportation advocacy group. Go to www.passengersunited.org for details on how to donate and the counter-proposal of the MTA Brooklyn Bus Network redesign. In the back, I have who we are, an abridged version of our counter-proposal and our critique of bus stop balancing. What is bus stop balancing? Bus stop balancing is a mindless implementation of standard practices by the MTA and New York City DOT without the consideration of the effects of their actions. There is no correlation between bus speed and passenger travel time. If a bus route has many bus stops but only stops at a few of them, the elimination of bus stops has little, if any, effect on bus speed. Hence, there is little benefit to their elimination. Potential passengers, however, must walk further on average to reach a bus stop, increasing passenger travel time. This also significantly increases the chance of a misconnection. For infrequent service, a misconnection could also discourage bus usage. For proof that there is no correlation between bus stop balancing and bus speed and service reliability, one can look no further than the city of Philadelphia. The average distance between bus stops within this city is 500 feet, but in the central city, it's as close as 450 feet. According to the Philadelphia Bus Network Choices Report, their service speed averages less than 12 miles per hour, 40% faster than New York City. And if there are half a dozen lightly utilized bus stops, the elimination of some stops could result in a bus stopping at stop A instead of stop B, saving no travel time. Bus stop balancing has demonstrated that the MTA and New York City DOT are only concerned about bus speed, not passenger travel time. They are pretending that they will make improvements in speed travel. It is dishonest and wrong. They cannot be trusted. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Britt Bird from Office of Borough President Reynoso's office.
Hi, thanks. Britt Bird for Borough President Reynoso. Congratulations to our new chair and on a well-run first meeting. A few announcements. Also on Thursday is 2026 State of the Borough Address. You are all invited to join Borough President Reynoso for the 2026 State of the Borough to hear about what we've been up to and what is next for the borough. It is Thursday at the Brooklyn Museum, and feel free to distribute this flyer with more details. Similarly, the Borough President also has a graduation award process, and the nominations are now open for pre-K through 12 students. School administrators are invited to nominate students until Monday, June 1st at 5 p.m., and you can find more information on this flyer in the back. Next, there's the NYC Teen Dating Violence Awareness Walk on April 25th. Please join us to take a stand against teen dating and sexual violence and earn community service hours. You can meet at 10 a.m. at Tillery Street and Cadman Plaza to march across the Brooklyn Bridge. That's in downtown Brooklyn, and that's on this flyer here. Then upcoming next month is a collaboration between the Office of the Brooklyn Borough President and Made in NYC Week. Please join us for a special collaboration with Made in NYC Week. Oh, apologies, that's this flyer. Which is an annual event series spotlighting the craftsmanship and talent within New York City's vibrant manufacturing community. Programming includes a walk along the planned IBX route, which I will be co-leading, a green jobs fair, and a symposium exploring Brooklyn's manufacturing sector, which I will be moderating a panel for. And then finally, learn how to protect your SNAP benefits. Borough President Reynoso is deeply alarmed by the new work requirements for SNAP that came into effect this month. While our office cannot provide direct case-to-case support on these changes, our constituent affairs team can provide you with more information on the various resources that are available to you. A full summary of these changes is available on this flyer back at the back table back there. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Rocky Barachama, followed by Ellie Slavin.
Hi, my name is Rocky Bhattacharya. I'm the branch manager at the Midwood Library. I have just a few items to share with you tonight. The first one is a program called Invite a Friend, where you can invite your friends and family to sign up for a library card before April 30th, and you can earn BPL branded goodies, including a mug and a tote bag, as thanks from the library. The more friends who sign up, the more special freebies you'll receive. The other two are programs at Midwood. We have a story time at the Midwood Library with Alyssa Satin Capuccilli, who is the author of the children's book Biscuit. It's the 30th anniversary of Biscuit. There's a picture of it, the dog. And Biscuit doesn't want to go to bed. He wants one more thing, just one, and then maybe another. Will Biscuit ever go to sleep? Find out when you join us for a special reading of Biscuit. It's a cute book. She has, Alyssa Satin Capuccilli is the author of over 100 books for young readers, including Biscuit, the popular bestseller used to launch the My First I Can Read series from HarperCollins. With over 100 titles in the series, as well as over 50 million books in print, Biscuit has been deemed a modern classic and has been translated into numerous languages worldwide. Biscuit is now celebrating its 30th year of publication. In addition, we're still looking for more membership in our Friends Group. Our next Friends Group meeting is on April 27th at 6 p.m. I hope we can get some new members to join. Thank you.
Ellie Slavin, followed by Jessica Kane.
It's a hard act to follow. First, you all know that I'll be on my best behavior today, for sure. Now, September 4th is going to be 19 years that I'm with the Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. So not only is she a great Congresswoman, but she's also a great boss. And District Manager, thank you for your kind words. Okay, so a number of issues were already mentioned before. I'll just repeat our number is 718-287-1142. We're located at 222 Lenox Road between Rogers and Nostrand. And as the Congressman said, we're open for business. We're dealing, of course, all federal issues, and on many occasions, Congresswoman gives a letter of support for things that are needed by local and citywide or statewide officials. Now, traveling these days has become an issue, as you're all aware of it. So as I mentioned, all the meetings, make sure your passports are 6 months valid. Now, if in a situation where you have emergency travel within a week and you find that your passport is not valid, reach out to us. The passport office is a federal office. We have our congressional liaisons, and they've been very, very cooperative, and we've helped many, many, many people who are traveling either for joyous occasions or, God forbid, for not so joyous occasions. So please do reach out to us. There's a flyer I left on the table, which is called STEP, and it stands for Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, which puts you in touch with the consulates and the embassies of the countries that you travel to. So, God forbid, there's an emergency, or they need to reach out to you, or you need to reach out to them. They have your contact numbers. Also, we have right now the Congressional Art Competition, 9th District High School students. The deadline to register is Friday, April 17th. Again, I left the information and flyers on the table. You can either email or you can get a photo of the barcode. Last but not least, was already mentioned by the representative from Myers, Senator Myers, that we're having the job fair, which is going to be Tuesday, May 5th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Central Library at 10 Grand Army Plaza. And again, as always, thank you very much for your time and for your involvement in bettering our community. Thank you again.
Next, we'll have Jessica Kane, followed by Brian Grady.
Did you guys clap? I'm up for a raise.
Good evening, everyone. I'm with the Church Flatbush Community Alliance. Just wanted to reiterate that our Church Avenue Street Fair is coming up on Sunday, May 3rd. If you happen to be a vendor and sell things, or you know any vendors, I do have some applications with me. I'll put them on the table. We also have a mural project. We got a grant called a Public Realm Grant from NYC SBS, and our project is called Shining Light on Flatbush. Just brought some visuals with me. So we actually teamed up with Urban Design Forum, Canva, and the Queens Lighting Collective. So we're looking for photos of people's favorite Flatbush memories, maybe your favorite place, pictures of your family, things like that. And they'll be in a mural that kind of looks like this on the Canva windows, right across the street from the Church Avenue BQ. Jarrell actually submitted some wonderful photos of his family at our last event. So if you want your photos next to Jarrell's, we have some flyers in the back too. Yeah. Thank you.
Next, we have Brian Grady.
Hi, good evening. I'm Brian Grady from Councilmember Rita Joseph's office. So greetings from Councilmember Joseph and welcome Congresswoman Clark. Good to see you this evening. I hope everyone had a happy Passover, happy Easter, and a happy Eid. So this week is PB Vote Week, so that's participatory budgeting. So you can do that online by visiting vote.pbnyc.org or by coming to our district office at 930 Flatbush Avenue to pick up a PB ballot, or you can visit any of the Brooklyn Public Library branches in our district, so that would be the Flatbush branch, Kensington branch, Crown Heights branch, or Cortelyou Road branch, and that's going to be going through Friday, so please do make some time to do that. Have a few announcements for the next couple weeks. So this Thursday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., our office, along with Morris Heights Health Center, Anthem and East Flatbush Community Partnership, will sponsor a community baby shower at the Boys and Girls Club at 2245 Bedford Avenue. We'll be having community resources for parents and families, baby giveaways and essentials, raffle prizes, and support from healthcare and community partners. So if you're interested in that, please do scan the QR code on the flyer in the back to register. Carl mentioned earlier the Carmel's Depression and Anxiety Wellness Foundation 5K That's going to be this Saturday, April 18th, in our office, along with the Office of Councilmember Mercedes Narcisse is co-sponsoring that. The flyers are also in the back for that and for all the rest of these announcements. This Saturday at 12, our office will be co-sponsoring the Caribbean Equality Project's monthly food and essentials distribution at PS6. That's at 43 Snyder Avenue. That's going to be first come, first served. Please bring a cart. On Tuesday, April 21st at 5:30, the City Council will be hosting a celebration of Sikh Heritage Month and Vaisakhi in council chambers at City Hall. Please RSVP by this Thursday by going to council.nyc.gov/events or calling 212-482-4120. And again, those flyers are in the back. Continuing the theme of maternal health, our office is co-sponsoring The Longest Table, which is a community meal in Kensington on Sunday, April 26th from 3 p.m. to 6. That's going to be at 200 East 8th Street and will include a free community meal, guided conversation on maternal health and collective care, free books for families, music, and community installations for kids. And a couple of things going on in our office on an ongoing basis. So we are now offering every second and fourth Wednesday of the month from 10 to 5 an older adults clinic with New York Connects. That's in our office. They can assist with a whole slew of things around aging, so things like home care, adult daycare, transportation services, benefits and insurance counseling, referrals to providers, and care coordination. So drop-ins are welcome, but if you'd like to make an appointment, please call the office. And my last announcement is, as a reminder, our office is now hosting a VFW in our office the first the first Monday of every month. This is a great service, also offering a range of support to benefits. So please do feel free to come by or give our office a call to set up an appointment. And as ever, our office is open Monday through Thursday, 10 to 5, to respond to any community concerns or to assist with any inquiries to city agencies. Come by at 930 Flatbush Avenue or give us a call at 718-287-8762. Thank you.
Next we'll have Noam Abrams, followed by Shanisha Dixon Tyrell.
Hi, everybody. My name is Noam Abrahams from Senator Sam Sutton's office. This is going to be very short because a lot of what I have to say has already been covered. First, thank you to the board and the committee that has a very long name for in adopting the alternate trash set-out schedule. It's been something we've been getting a number of calls about, especially over the winter when it gets dark out really early, even not just Sabbath, but for seniors to be out at 8 p.m. lugging their trash cans around. It's really helpful for the community. Next, you already heard about this Earth Day contest and graduation recognition certificate program. Our office is also participating in those. So if you happen to be in the other part of the community board that overlaps with our district and not Senator Myrie's district, you can submit them through our Senate website page instead. It's the exact same process, but the front of the URL is different. Next Wednesday, we're hosting mobile office hours with Brooklyn's own Ellie Slavin from Yvette Clark's office. So if you need help with a federal issue, but you're a little bit farther from the Congresswoman's physical office, you can pop out to our office at 1412 Avenue J on that Wednesday. And lastly, this Wednesday, April 15th, is actually the start of applications for the HEAP Cooling Assistance Program. I know that it's hard to believe it'll be warm again, but they're telling me even maybe an 80 degree this week. So you never know. It covers the cost of a full fan or AC for an apartment unit. So, apply as soon as possible because better to be cold than warm. My father always said, you can always put more layers on, but there's a limit to what you can take off in polite company, right? So better to have the air conditioner earlier, you got to get it installed. So this Wednesday, we're here, we're ready. Give us a call, 718-253-2015. Thank you.
A very debatable claim to the end of your report, but thank you. Next we'll have Shanisha Dixon Tyrell, followed by Nancy Lulu.
Great evening, everyone. Good evening. So again, my name is Shanisha Dixon Tyrell. I'm the CEO and founder of Shanisha's Changing Lives, Inc., and a nonprofit, Scholars Changing Lives, Inc. And I am a community member. However, I'm having an event in another community, which I hope you all support because it's for all of us, right? All of New York City, as we may or may not know, April is Financial Literacy Month. My organization is a financial education and coaching firm, and what we do is we provide financial education for youth and their parents. We believe that the main part is generational wealth, which we always hear, that's the buzzword, but we forget the actual connections between generations, right? If you don't have a connection between the mom and the daughter, how are you ever gonna pass down wealth, right? So we wanna make sure that we're connecting the generations so that generational wealth is a real thing. We have an established curriculum, we go into schools and organizations, but what we do is every year, this will be our 3rd year, we have a financial literacy conference. This year is taking place April 25th, Saturday, April 25th, and it's from 9 to 4 p.m. It's going to be on the Bushwick campus, so 400 Irving Avenue. This is a free event. Everyone say free. Free. This is a free event. When it initially got started, I made my own investments in trade because I wanted to back this. All I did was ask the school to support me. The school that supported me was the school that I went to high school at. For me, it's so important to give back to community, any community that raised me, right? And so for that part, is that high school. However, I brought it back to my community. I could have went anywhere with it, right? However, I brought it back to my community, meaning Brooklyn, because it's so important for us to get this information, okay? So it's for youth ages 12 to 18 and their parents. Everyone say, and their parents, right? So it's, now, if the scholars want to come on their own, they're more than welcome to. However, we really want this to be a family dynamic. The day is full of fun activities. We have many, many workshops. So we have financial education workshops on budgeting, saving, investing, cryptocurrency, the likes, right? And then we have activations where they can work with industry professionals to learn new skill sets. So we have like a hair braiding program, an electrical workshop, because we know that the next wave of millionaires will be electricians and plumbers, right? Especially with this AI boom. So we want to make sure that they get exposure to that as well. We have a 15-year-old who will be teaching a donut making workshop. We created a golf activation because we understand that the sport of golf, first of all, wellness is very important when it comes to wealth as well. However, we created the golf activation because we understand that that is a sport that's not easily accessible in the Black and brown communities. And so we fundraise and we now have the money to establish the programming. We just need all the kids, right? And so we just ask that you will bring out your youth, right? And so come and support us. We have tons of giveaways. We'll be doing 3 micro grants, one for $500 for a high school senior. And then we'll have another one for parents who may need a bill paid, up to $300. We'll be giving out a grant for that. And then 529 college plans, right, for selected scholars. So please, the information is in the back. You must register to attend. Everyone say register? Register. Right, and so the link is here. You see bit.ly/FinLitBK. You must register to attend, and we just encourage you to spread the word. Again, it's free, and it's for you all and your families. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, make sure that you email that information to the office so it can go up on our website, and we'll get an invitation to you for the nonprofit roundtable as well, and you'll be at the youth conference, at the Youth Resource Fair next year.
Yeah, see you there.
All right.
Good
Next,
evening,
we have
everyone. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
You're
Go ahead.
Next, we have Nancy Lulu.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Nancy Lulu from Brooklyn DA Eric Gonzalez's office. I bring greetings on behalf of DA Gonzalez to everyone. I just wanted to share that the Brooklyn DA's office will be holding our 4th annual prescription drug take-back event. It will be April 24 from 10 to 3. There's going to be 8 drop-off sites. So, empty out your medicine cabinets, any expired, unwanted medications, bring them over for safe disposal and also to prevent misuse of medication. So it's a great initiative. I also want to urge you to visit our website at brooklynda.org to check the resources and services that we provide, and also to see the great work that we've been doing at the DA's office. And as always, if there is something, a public safety concern, or something that you would like to address with the DA's office, to call our Action Center at 718-250-2340. And I want to conclude by congratulating the new chair, and it's great to see Congresswoman Yvette Clarke this evening. It's great to see you all. Be safe. Thanks.
Next, we'll have Megan Fleming White.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Megan. I'm from Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office. So I just have a few things to highlight and to look forward to. So on April 1st, Midwood High School hosted a NYC DOE Chancellor Kamar Samuels visit. This was the first time a chancellor has done this in our district, District 45, under the leadership of Councilmember Farrah Lewis. During that visit, elected officials were welcomed by student body. They met the students and their parents to discuss key concerns and the future of the school. The visit also included classroom tours, providing the elected officials with opportunities to observe student presentations and engage directly with the school's community. So that was a great thing for District 45. Okay, so next, Councilmember Lewis opened the spring season with her annual spring extravaganza at PS 152/315 Community Playground. We want to thank our partner Drum for helping us execute this community event, and we look forward to hosting more events in the near future. Next is something a little exciting. Participatory budget is live. That Brian also said earlier. We have 2 projects in the Community Board 14, which is Campus Road Pedestrian Safety Improvement and Tree Guards for South Midwood area. Our office is working closely with FDC to conduct outreach throughout District 45 to encourage our community members to vote and spread the word about the projects and the ballot. Members could vote online or in person. There's flyers on the table to scan the code so you could vote for things you want to see in District 45. So just 2 future events coming up. So we have free senior fitness classes from April 14th to July 2nd. So any seniors who want to get active can come to Amherstford Park or Padgett Park starting at 6:30 a.m. So that's a great opportunities for seniors to engage and get some workouts in. And then lastly, our Family Fun Day is May 9th, 2026. From 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., the children could come out and play inflatable games, snacks, board games. It's very fun. So that will be happening on May 9th. So our office is located at 1434 Flatbush Avenue, and our number is 718-629-2900, and our email is district45@council.nyc.gov. Councilmember Farrah Lewis's office is here to support your needs. So if you need anything, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for having us.
And lastly, we'll have Mike Goldfarb.
Good evening, everyone. For the very few folks in the room I've not met before, my name is Mike Goldfarb, proud CB14 resident. Chairman Gray, excellent inaugural update, and no shame in staying hydrated, even if Carl didn't while he was up there. Let me just add to the chair's holiday recognitions in acknowledgement of those that will be observing Yom HaShoah, or Holocaust Remembrance Day, tonight into tomorrow. As the grandson of 4 Holocaust survivors myself, I know it's always a very poignant and emotional day. Following on to the Congresswoman's call for us to participate in the electoral process, just a reminder, there are key deadlines upcoming. So if you have to register to vote, if you have to change your address, if you need a mail-in ballot, go to elections.ny.gov sooner than later. Elections have a tendency to sneak up on us, so might as well do it while it's top of mind. And then very last, just a thank you to Councilmember Rita Joseph, who I saw personally planting trees on Cortellio yesterday with not a camera in sight. Wonderfully appreciate the support up in the community. If anybody's any questions on registering to vote on the electoral process, please come grab me after the meeting's over. Thanks, everyone.
All right, so I thank everyone for coming out tonight. It's always great to learn more about the new programs and all of the work that's happening in our community. Shout out all the board members that stayed to the very end. I know it's after 9 o'clock, so I'm not going to stay yapping on the mic for much longer. This concludes the public comment period. It is 9:10 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned.